Oh, nah, baby boy. You can't be allowing them to do that to you. Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. What is this? And let me guess, another situation. Never mind, you dropped the combo. But this will definitely be a situation where you're going to mash or do something out to get out the corner. No. You had to keep him in the corner. We're masters. Of course we don't DI out the corner. Ooh, what are we launching for? He's looking for something. He's just staring there like, hey, do something, I dare you. I dare you. All right, you Cammy mains, we're back at it again doing another video on you guys. Don't know what that pause was, but we're gonna keep going. Okay, that's a good hit. Cool. Okay. Here, while sticking that button out is fine, we gotta be super mindful of where we're sticking out that following button. And especially because where you were at in terms of your meter wasn't the greatest situation, sticking that button out wasn't probably your best choice. In that case, I would have preferred you stuck out your standing heavy kick. Mainly because you check space, not to mention if it does hit on block, it gives you a little bit more chunkier piece of your drive gauge back, right? You got to be a little bit more mindful of your spaces. I don't necessarily blame you, but you know, moving forward, we got to clean it up. By the way, if you're enjoying the content, please consider giving us a subscription, because it goes a long way to help the channel grow. Oh, okay. Whoa, 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 whoa. What is this? Nah, I'm not gonna lie. I've never seen the game hold somebody like this, bro. That's insane. That's tough. Okay. So when you're fighting, especially when you're in burnout, when you're fighting, you want to make sure that you're playing a little bit, you're switching between playing offensive and defensive, right? That way your opponent never really guesses what you're trying to do. I'll try to show it in the lab a little bit later, but essentially what you want to do, you want to be backing up as if you're going to try and walk yourself to the corner. So then they're going to be taking a lot more space, whatever have you. And then at a certain point, you're going to have to stand your ground, because if you just keep walking back, you're going to find yourself in the corner. Obviously, you don't want to do this to yourself. So what you want to do is that kind of pretend like you're walking back. And then at a certain point, you're going to hold your ground. When you hold your ground, you can decide to use either your standing heavy kick. You can try to use your dive kick, instant dive kick, to try and make up the space and kind of make them guess even though you're in burnout, right? You got to be super careful with dashes, because dashes are super negative in this game. Unfortunate. Oh yeah, you got okay. So these last two engagements here, it felt like you were so not willing to block on these situations that you were just willing to press anything. Kind of concerns me for the future matches to come, but this is okay. It happens, you know. Sometimes you get burnt out. It happens. The offense happens. That's fine. Yeah. So how do we combat drive rush jab? Because drive rush jab is super strong. Really strong of an option. How do we combat it? Is at the moment you see them flying at you, you try and perfect parry it. If you don't get the perfect parry, you block afterwards. Okay, you block. And I want to make sure this is being heard. Okay, you block afterwards. All right, try and perfect parry. If you don't get the perfect parry, then you know it is what it is. And here you got hit. Time to guess. Another situation where we didn't block. Now we're starting to see a pattern here. You see what I'm saying? Just decide to block, because peep this. Had you decided to block this situation here, then he would have just empty jumped. You would have been able to anti-air him either through like light DP or I don't know, like back beating punch. I don't know. Anyways, you could have anti-aired him regardless. You could have light DP is the most probable answer, right? You could have anti-aired him. Once you anti-aired him, you would have taken your turn back, and then now it's his turn to guess. Instead, now you're about to take a combo that he missed. But a person who plays better, you're gonna pay for it a lot more. Unfortunate on the dive kick, but did we really want to use light dive kick here? I feel like you were even then the situation that you were in, like peep your spacing. If you were to do it, if you were to get it at that range, you still would have been negative. I don't necessarily agree with that, unless you were willing to use EX, which might have put you in 0 or that +1 range. I still wouldn't suggest doing it at that range, because if you do it at that range, it's going to hit their upper body, which either A, leaves you, you'll either be safe, but you'll lose your turn, or you're negative and then you get hit. And each one is met with just a stand jab, and then he'll get a stand jab into a combo, right? We don't want to give that to him. Nice. Pull up. Cool. Nice. Okay. Beautiful. Okay, so it looks like we have a good idea of what we want to do on offense, but it does seem like on defense we crumble like a house of cards. Okay. Oh nah, baby boy, you can't be allowing them to do that to you. Okay, this nah, bro. He cannot be dashing in your face like this, bro. At least not without a crouch jab check. Listen, you want to make sure that, like, if we're talking about like Jury dash or Rashid dash, all right, you have an argument there. But when it comes to DJ dash, nah, we can dash check that. We can crouch jab that. Ooh, what you whiffing for? Well, number one, why would you try to grab there? Because like this situation is not good for you walking up grab. Because let's propose a situation here, right? He whiffed this joint, and then this man just goes sway. Obviously, he didn't decide to go sway, but like if he does, you know. Okay, and let me guess, another situation, never mind, he dropped the combo, but this would definitely be a situation where you're gonna mash or do something out to get out the corner. Yep. Okay, next hit, you needed to go into super. No, you had to keep him in the corner. You're too unsure. You're too unsure. Why did we back throw him? He needed to stay in the corner. Okay, unfortunate. Oh, the unfortunism is about to go off. I smell it. It's gonna be a sequence of events that's just unfortunate, brother. We're masters now, okay? We're masters. Of course we don't DI out the corner. You feel me? Like, come on, we don't do this. We don't feed games. We don't feed games around here. Come on. All right, so the things that I'm noticing, number one, crumble, straight crumble on defense, right? Two, when it comes to dealing with DJ drive rush options, you want to try and parry them. The reason why is that you want to try your hand at perfect parry. If you're unsuccessful on perfect parry, then it is what it is. You have to block afterwards. Okay, let me say this again. You have to block afterwards. But then afterward, if you happen to get it, then you get your turn, right? With that being said, you also need to be a little bit more mindful of the spacing and which buttons you're pressing and why you're pressing them, right? But I say the biggest thing so far is your defense. Let's go on to the next game here. Alrighty, so now that we're in the next game here, let's see what adaptations we decide to make, if at all. Okay, you gonna pull up on you, perfect parry. You'll love to see it. I need you side switching. I need you side switching. Okay, I don't care if that looks like if you're just doing grab or if you're doing the side switch combo. I'm sure you know it. You need to start using that though. Okay, just play patient. Good jump, great jump. He got complacent and then he get hit for it. Now you have to be super mindful. I keep telling you this and I will keep doing it until everyone understands. Look at your meter. Look at your meter. Okay, you need to keep an eye on that, because if you do if you get too overly aggressive, you're gonna find yourself burnt out. Okay, it's not the worst of options when it comes to offense on those situations. Okay, ooh, all right. So while I agree what he's doing, now here's the next step, right? Here's the next level of adaptation. This is what happens at higher levels of play, is that your opponent is going to recognize that you're trying to parry every time they drive rush. How do they answer this? They're going to start to drive rush grab you. They get the punish counter and they get to follow up their pressure. Okay. Now, how do you counter that counter? You counter that counter by pressing a button to catch them, because when they try to drive rush at you, they're not going to be pressing anything until they get in your face, and then they'll try to grab you. You see how that game plays out? I'm going to explain it in the lab once again, but let's continue. I just want to put that out there. Okay. We've already shown we're not the strongest of defensive players. So I'm not too comfortable with you going into burnout here, but we'll see how you play it out. Ooh, nice try. Okay. Pull up. Yep. Just chill out. Just chill out. So after you get hit here, okay? After you get hit here, chill out and try to spin. That is your goal here. I don't know why that image was bugging out, but chill out and try to catch a spin. That's your goal here. I mean, you just kind of did it preemptively. I prefer that you reacted to it, but yeah, that's how you're gonna convert those rounds, because if they feel too comfortable just pressing it, you can check them with EX spin, or you didn't have EX spin, so you can do heavy spin. So even if heavy spin doesn't actually punish counter, you'll get the plus frames anyway, right? Ooh, what are we launching for? No, I get sometimes I get sometimes you can on like the last frame if you get the right spacing, but right now we're not in the perfect arena to be trying these sort of things, right? Now we're in a situation where we're in the corner. Nice reaction. Pull up. Okay, that's fine. The only times you can try and press on this situation, which you're not gonna get and most people don't actually end up getting, is if you perfect parry the entire thing. By the way, you perfect parry the entire thing, so much so that the last hit you perfect parry and then you can crouch jab check them. But this won't be the case because there's so many hits and it's so hard to do. So trying to press something there, not a wise decision. See how we have not blocked? Notice how on a lot of these situations we have not blocked. We need to learn basic defensive structure. I do have a video for it. Woo! Okay, this was just a series of unfortunate. Okay, why are we trying to jab DI? You know, jab DI is really jumpable. If you went for a heavy punch DI, it's a little bit harder for them to do that, right? It's a little bit harder for them to just jump out. Okay. Okay. While you did get the kill there, I'd prefer you did jab into jab heavy punch, into drive rush jab heavy punch, and then go into the route there, right? Nice check. Trying to dive kick, you missed a dive kick. You need to practice your dive kicks a little bit more, at least till it's about 70% or so. Okay, again, now that you've hit this this combo off of drive rush cancel, you need to be more mindful of where your drive meter is, because right now we have to understand that whatever we do, we can no longer drive rush. Now we can, right? Now we're a go, but we got to make sure that we're keeping it in mind whatever we're doing and how we're confirming, right? He is not jab checking you. Oh yeah. Okay, this is the next level. Okay, when you're fighting a DJ of a higher caliber, they're gonna fake it, and when they fake it, you're gonna try and spin, and then they can jab check you. He can actually jab check you here, but he didn't do it. But just keep that in mind, that is an option that they have. Another option that you have available to you is that now that you have level 3 or CA, you can then decide to level 3 on reaction to whatever fireball they decide to do. Again, they can try and fake it, and if they fake it, they will punish you, but it is an option that is on the table for you. Throw that thing. Okay, I love the answers. I love the adaptation. Good. I'm glad you're doing it a little bit more, but again, the source of your problems right now lies with your defense. Because right now, when you're forced to block in the corner, it just feels like there's DP, it's jump, it's mash. It's never just, let me block. And very rarely do I see you try and parry or EX, or not EX parry or perfect parry, try and perfect parry the situation, right? Let's go on to the last game, see how that goes for you. Okay, the English versus the seemingly Jamaican. Doesn't sound Jamaican, but let's continue. Oh, here, nah. If you want to optimize here, you need to be back throwing them. Why? Because you're right near the corner. You back throw them here, they're now in the corner. They now have to deal with whatever shenanigans you can muster up when their back is to the corner. Feel what I'm saying? Because now you see how close you were to the corner. You could have had him in that situation. But see how we bust out again, and now we're getting punished for it. Okay, we took a lot of damage now because now we chose mash. You see how it's a consistent thing? Right now, you need to know what your options are on defense and know that sometimes it's okay to just block the situation. It's okay sometimes. You feel me? Another jab DI. Worked out this time. Damage is not that high on it. Air throw. Beautiful. Okay. I say just walk up and try and throw him again. But you're probably going to walk up, try and bait him for throw. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? It feels like your offense as well. It does feel like your offense is a little bit too predictable. And if you make your offense a little bit too predictable, then your opponent's just going to be like, start making reads and callouts that you're going to do something or react a certain way because you're afraid of EXDP and level 1. And you can kind of tell that, right? Okay, DI. Yeah, that's why it's better to do it on reaction here. Either you're trying to do it on reaction or you're trying to game the plus frames. You got to choose your poison, but either way, trying to get your plus frame started here, especially when he's crouch blocking like this, because right now when he's crouch blocking, he's waiting for jump and he's waiting for you to do something that he can EXDP you for, right? He's looking for something. He's just staring there like, hey, do something, I dare you, I dare you. That's what he's doing right now, right? And I don't know why he decided to jump, but hey. Okay, DI back to the corner. Yeah. All right, let's see how this next round goes. Nice. Push up on him. What it feels like is that once you get your hit, you never try and drive rush in off of your hits, right? Try using your because although you can walk up and get your crouching heavy punch and that's +1 and whatever have you, try drive rush, either drive rush jab or drive rush crouching heavy punch, you know, one of your plus buttons. That way you get a little bit extra plus frames, you're closer in their face and you can enforce that strike throw game a little bit stronger, right? Instead of having to spend the 3 in order to get in their eye after the crouching medium punch or crouching medium kick, I'm sorry. Right? You see how much smoke we went through? And now if we get hit, we're forced to block. You're still, yeah, this doesn't matter though. The reason why this doesn't matter, actually type in the comments below why, even though you got the hit here, the DI here, you're still in the worst position here. Okay, I'm gonna give you a couple seconds over. The reason why is because you've now put yourself in burnout. And even though you're getting the hit here, it's very unlikely that I don't think that you're going to side switch here. And because of that, I think you're going to be in a worse situation. Oh, no, we even mess up the combo. Yeah. See what I'm saying? I would even say for him to level 3 there. Oh, yeah. Oh, level 3. Yep. You see how a situation is. I want to note that this whole situation was caused because of burnout. This is why I keep telling folks, you gotta make sure that you're on top of your drive gauge. It's so crucial and important. right? He was doing fine. He was all right up until the point where his drive meter ran out. And then, like I said, your ass is grass. That's it. It's GG's. It's tough, but you gotta hold that. So let's go over a couple of options in the homework section. I'll see you guys there. Okay, now that we're in the lab, let's go over a couple of things that I want to bring to your attention. Okay, so first things first, let's say the situation where they do drive rush jab upon you, right? You want to try and get the perfect parry situation. Oh my goodness, I am sucking at this. You want to try and get the perfect parry situation, right? If let's say you don't get it, you block. And that's the key part that I want you to notice, is that if I don't get it, I'm just deciding to block afterwards, because there's still plus on the situation, right? And you can get your turn. Let me see. Oh god, I messed it up. Anyways, you can do jab, heavy punch, or you can just do jab, jab, jab into that, right? Then, like I was mentioning, the next option that they have available to them is that the moment that you start trying to perfect parry the jabs, they're gonna try and do this to you, right? So when they start doing that, that's when we can start checking them, right? That's when that option becomes a little bit better, because now we can check them for trying to come at us, right? Now my comments are ugly, but that's the idea, right? You want to make sure that you're checking them. The moment they make that adjustment, you want to start checking them for it, right? That's kind of the idea that I wanted to enforce. And when it comes to using this option here, I want you to use it on reaction, okay? So if you see it, that's when we react to it, right? If we have enough time to react to it, like look how late I'm doing it. Okay, that one was a little bit too late, right? We want to make sure we're using it on reaction, right? Just so that it makes his life that much harder. Oh, I keep missing the link there. But anyways, we want to make sure that we're using it on reaction, right? On top of which, you using jab DI, it's not the greatest of situations, because see, after damage, you want them to vertical jump, right? And then let's say it's on block and they decide to vertical jump, right? That's what happens, right? That's why I say using this is super niche. And if they're deciding to hold up because they're thinking that you're gonna try and grab them, it sucks, and we end up getting punished for it, right? Instead, this is a better option. The heavy punch into DI is a better option, right? And let's say even on, it should work the same way even on block, right? Yeah, exactly. That's why this is just a better option. Just a better option overall. Okay. So when you have the option, or you're thinking about going for DI, I'd prefer you went for heavy punch. Yeah, it may look a little bit more predictable or more reactable a little bit. It is a lot better than doing jab DI. Okay. The next thing I wanted to go over was 3, 4, and that is your defense. Okay. When it comes to defense, it feels like you're always trying to bust out. You're always trying to say hold up on a situation, and it's just not working out a lot of the time, right? That's why you should just try and perfect parry the situation and get your turn back. If you try and perfect parry the situation, right? Let's say you mess it up, you just block, okay? That's perfectly fine too. Or some people, I see them try and they go for the perfect parry attempt. If they don't get it, they try and DI in the gap, or not DI, I'm sorry. They try to English, not DI. They try to DP in the gap, right? That's what I've seen others do. May not be good for this specific situation, but suffice to say, it's better than just trying to bust out all the time, right? Sometimes you're just gonna have to block, and you're gonna have to accept certain situations and then wait for your turn. Okay, when it came to your offense, it felt like, okay, you'll do the throw, right, and then you'll walk up, or you'll either switch sides here, you'll do something like this, right, and then you kind of will try and autopilot the heavy punch and not really try and scout anything, right? Instead, I'd prefer if you kind of like pushed up on the advantage like this, right? Obviously you don't have to do this every time, and obviously you can switch it up with something like that, but regardless, I'd prefer that you kind of do that a little bit more often, because although this is +1, right, this is +5, and this is +2. Okay, and the more frame advantage you have, the harder it is, and the more they feel forced in that situation, right? And then on top of which, you can start doing stuff like this. So when you drive rush, it makes them have to think a little bit more of what you can do, because if you just walk up like this, it's a lot less scary than going for something like this, right? On top of which, you can go like that, and it diversifies your options, because you're so much closer in their eye as opposed to just going like walking up. It makes them forces them to think a little bit more. And on top of which, some opponents like to try and bait you out by trying to scout the green, and then in those cases you can try and bait them out accordingly. On top of which, there are situations in neutral where you'll be like, you'll be, let's say, around here, or there was a specific situation where he like whiffed a DP, right, he whiffed a DP, and then we didn't capitalize on it by throwing them in the corner. You need to be a little bit more spatially aware of what you're going through and where you are, and in order to do that, you're gonna have to play the maps a little bit more, and also keep that in the back of your mind, where you are on the map and how you can confirm. And in that same breath, let's move on to how you deal with situations where you're down. Okay, there are going to be situations where you spend meter, and in those cases you want to be a little bit more passive. Okay, so I was referring to playing a switch between the offense and defense. So a lot of the time what your opponent will do, they'll try and walk you down to the corner for obvious reasons, right? Actually, let's talk about the playing in level, or playing with 1 gauge. When you're playing with 1 gauge, you have to keep in mind the fact that they're going to try and burn you out. So you kind of want to use normals in order to rebuild that. Why is that resetting after a time? I don't know why it's resetting after a time. Anyways, you want to use your buttons in order to try and build up that gauge, right? And you notice the difference between when I use the heavy kick versus the crouching medium kick. So it's good to throw out just to increase your meter. Also, you can just decide to play a little bit defensively, and then if they try to throw out their projectile, we punish them like so, right? As for when we're dealing with burnout, this is a situation where like you'll be playing a little bit defensive or whatever have you, and then they'll be trying to approach you and try to push you into the corner. Some opponents will try and throw out DI at random points in order to try and catch you pressing buttons, because you can't DI back, right? They'll try and do that to you. So what you can do is that, let's say your opponent is walking you forward like this, what you can do is to keep walking back. If they happen to check the space, we can check the space with this button. This button also allows us to not only build more drive gauge, but it also keeps them away from you from trying to do something crazy. You feel me? Then of course you gotta work on your dive kicks a little bit more. There were a couple of situations where you did it in the corner that were a little bit more risque than I would prefer. Like there was a situation where you did it around here and you did light kick because you fell with light kick. So you want to just make sure that you're doing it at the right distances so that you're plus. Okay, I know that was a little bit longer of a homework section. Feel free to watch it back. Thank you again for the replay. Any questions, leave it down below.